Welcome to Off Your Game, episode 4. Brother Josh, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, brother Ron. How are you doing?
I am absolutely superb. How fantastic is it to be in this fantastic platform that you need all these devices for? What do you think about that?
I'm not one for devices myself. I would probably rather be doing this on a beach.
Oh, yeah.
A beach, not a beach. Um, but yeah, it's all good. It's nice to see you again. Saturday morning, always good to catch up.
There we go. And what's your week been like?
It's been fun. It's been interesting. Interesting week at work. I won't talk too much about it, but yeah,
Might get cancelled.
a lot of yeah, you can get cancelled for anything these days. So,
I
but
know.
yeah, it's been a fun week.
Happy to hear, Brother Josh. I honestly can't
Yourself?
remember. Yeah, I can't remember my week.
You're getting to that
Obviously,
age, eh?
yeah. Yeah, I've had a lighter week when it comes to clients load, and obviously with the public holidays, you get people that's obviously,
Deload week for the
yeah,
clients.
exactly, yeah. So I obviously pushed them a little bit hard, so they didn't like me this week that much because I had to push them due to the fact that we had a shorter a week span to be able to get our work done. But furthermore, I think I had a good week, nothing too hectic.
Good, glad to hear.
Here we go. Right, Brother Josh, let's get the show started with our first slide. Righto. So there we go. Off Your Game with Josh and Roni, episode 4. Clearly, it's the big one this weekend. Well, I don't know
That's
how
my
big.
Saturday night outfit, eh?
There we go. Yes. Hopefully, you don't go out Saturday night with the gun. We obviously need to protect the people out there.
Well, we are playing the Gunners, so we have to come with protection.
Josh, just quickly, as a Liverpool fan, Anfield, obviously, they talk about the atmosphere, they talk about the European nights. Your thoughts on Anfield in general, if you can generalize for me?
Anfield has been a 12th man for us. I mean, some of the night I remember the most is the Dortmund night, actually, in the Europa League, the first Klopp's first season. That was a fantastic game, fantastic evening. 2-0 down. I put the game on after 15 minutes. I actually watched it at Stones, and we were
Oh,
already
my.
2-0 down. And I think it was 3-1, back to 3-0, back to 4-3. Crazy game. That was the first real experience for me of as a Liverpool fan of supporting Liverpool with a big European night at Anfield. And obviously, the Barcelona game is still my favorite game, probably of all time. The 4-0 game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I used to have a soft spot for Barcelona. But after all their nonsense that's come to light, in the media
Buying
over the years,
refs.
yeah, buying refs, but that's only now. Obviously, they've had a bit of a
Not
dodginess to them all these years, and yeah, I supported Barcelona probably on the night if I had a gun to my head, but I'm referring to the 4-0. It was 4-0. Yeah,
yeah.
and even I got excited when Liverpool got the third and fourth goals,
That
despite
that
on
that
the night
crazy Trent corner to
the Trent
Divock
corner.
Origi, the legend.
Origi. Yeah. Was that the third or fourth goal?
That was the fourth goal.
Oh, so that was the fourth one. Yeah, I
That
actually
was the winner.
not celebrated, but at the end of the day, it was quite an achievement on that night. So let's see. Right. So, Josh, the show order for this week, we obviously had our introduction now, if you can call it that. We're going to review the
I call the introduction.
yeah, yeah, okay. We are going to review the midweek games, whether you like it or not. Coaching in the Premier League, and then the
I don't
Liverpool.
mind. I don't mind.
Okay, and then the Liverpool Arsenal preview show.
I'm not
Right.
gonna like that part. But I had a dream, which I'll tell you about later.
Righto. So, as you can see by our lovely professional banner in red and white, we are going to discuss the midweek games. So, brother Josh, let's start from the bottom. So, obviously, we made our predictions last week for the Tottenham Everton game. And I think I went draw and you went Tottenham Hotspur. Do you have any thoughts on the game?
Thanks to Michael Keane's late winner.
Yeah,
Equalizer.
equalizer.
Crazy game. I watched the game. Very poor quality game from both teams. I mean, Tottenham did nothing until Harry managed to engineer a sending off, as is his want. Correct sending off, I would say. He made a meal of it, but that's the game these days. Got the
Unfortunately.
penalty, won the penalty, scored the penalty, and after that, very poor tactics. I think Tottenham should have grabbed Everton by the throat at that point, but they didn't. They sat back. They allowed pressure. Crazy by Moura, but why Moura is even on the field? Why sign Dan Juma and then just not play him? I don't get it.
I don't know. Obviously, we have a certain Tottenham fan that we both we watch his content, expressions, and he obviously goes
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah,
I heard you
I
say that
do.
in one of your podcasts the other day. How can an Arsenal fan use lines from a Tottenham fan? Absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, no, it is disgraceful, yes, but at the end of the day, is he a Tottenham fan? That's the other thing, or is he just a Tottenham content creator, but a Arsenal fan at heart? You never know.
I'm going to say nothing.
Probably for the best. Josh, Leicester City, Aston Villa, another loss for Leicester, this time obviously with their caretaker manager in charge. I have no idea who. Do you have any thoughts on that game? And then you can maybe just add your thoughts on the Leeds United Nottingham game as well.
I never saw that game, but Villa have been
Which
in
one?
form. I think Watkins, the Leicester Villa game.
Yeah, Watkins
Watkins
scored
scored
again.
again. I think he scored like 8 goals in the last 10 games, something like that. Eight on
Yeah,
in
and then,
9 10 games.
and then a lot of those were away.
There's going to be a fire sale with Leicester players this season if they get relegated. I mean, Madison's going to obviously go on the cheap. Tielemans, I don't know if Arsenal's so interested in Tielemans.
There's still rumors, but I don't think so. I think we've moved on.
Moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Like
There's a certain guy that we're
Romeo
looking at.
Lavia.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at Lavia and we're looking at the guy that, yeah, I don't want to get into trouble here, but let's just say the Rice guy. So we're looking at him like seriously.
That's Mighty Rice.
Yeah. I've
Would
got
you
so
take
many
Madison
jokes lined up for next season, eh?
Would you take Madison at Arsenal?
I think he'll go to Liverpool.
But if he was available, would you want him at Arsenal?
I would want him, definitely, yes. But we've got now Vieira, which we put lots of money into, and Odegaard playing in that position. I don't think it's going to work for him to play in the left eight where Xhaka plays. I think they want to try, and I know he's been injured a lot. They want to try and get Emile Smith-Rowe to play the left eight role as well, seeing that he plays left wing as well, and the number 10 position. But obviously the injuries has been the issue.
Can't stay fit.
Can't stay fit. They probably have been working with him now that he has been fit to play in the left eight role where Xhaka plays, because obviously Xhaka has been doing well, but he is obviously moving on with age, and especially with the role that he plays. And
isn't he like 29 or 30?
He's 29 roundabout there, but he's obviously played a lot.
It's young.
It's young, yes, but he's played a lot of football. He's basically never injured, and when he is injured, he's back quite quickly. So he's quite a durable player, but he can't play 60 or 50 games next season and keep at a certain level. So we need to have a left eight as well.
And Jorginho, is he going to stay?
I don't know if he's going to stay, because so El Neni is there. It's not about rating the person; it's about how he is off behind the scenes. And you can't have, yeah, I don't know. I honestly, at this stage, I'm still going to analyze or deep dive deeper into Arsenal's central midfield situation. But I do believe they're going to get two players in that's quite young, so that we can not have the situation that if Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka is injured for a week or so, then we don't panic. So
I've got a name for you.
I'm listening.
Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, that's my dream. That's my dream signing. But yeah, I do see Arsenal. If Arsenal can spend being seventh and eighth, 200 million in 2 windows, then they obviously can spend quite a bit of money. The problem is you need to eventually balance the books by selling well, and that means they need to sell a likable player, because likable players are going to go for big value. So they could, like all these players that's on loan that they're struggling to sell, every 5, 10, 12 million counts. So people that are not players that's not going to really be in Arsenal's plans, that they can possibly sell for under 15 million, and all of those adds up to 100
Tierney
million.
as well.
That is a player that what we call a liked player that might end up being sold, but only if it's going to be 40 million plus. So he's on a long contract. So If the likes of Newcastle, who's been interested in him even prior to the Saudi days, if they're interested in signing him, then they're going to have to obviously spend 40 million plus, because Arsenal is on the up, whether they win the league or not. So obviously the value then increases on players that's maybe not playing that much. So Cucurella and these guys, 60 million. I know he played a lot at Brighton, but players that's not
Crazy
that good,
signing.
players that's not that good going for 60, and then you've got a very good Tierney who has obviously got his injury problems, but you just have to watch the Scotland-Spain game to see his value. He was
Yeah, 40,
absolutely
50, I could see that.
Yeah, I won't go 50 million because his contract's not that long, but 35 to 40 million, 35 plus add-ons, I would think.
Definitely.
Yeah. Brother
Leeds,
Josh?
Forest.
Yeah, Leeds Forest.
I didn't watch the game, but it's a big win for Leeds, and it puts Forest
Nice.
again back in the mud, as they say.
Yeah, I saw at least 5 minutes highlights of all of these games. So the website that I use, they have, sometimes the games are 5 minutes long, sometimes it's a full 20-minute highlights package. So I've seen every single game, but the mere fact that I don't remember a thing from Leeds United Nottingham, I don't remember a thing from Leicester Aston Villa or Chelsea Liverpool, tells you all you need to know about the standard of the game. You
Just
were
on
going to say,
Leeds, before we continue, the one player I would like to at Leeds that I would actually take at Liverpool next season is Tyler Adams. I think he's a good player.
100%.
He's got the second most tackles in the league this season after Paulinho.
Yeah, absolutely love him. Yeah, I don't know if he seems like
Captain
one of those.
America.
He seems like one of those American players that's loyal. So we still got a long-term contract, so it's going to cost obviously a lot of money because he's vital to them. But if they get relegated, which is still possible, then I can see Tyler Adams and Maddison both going to Liverpool.
I don't see Maddison fitting in, to be honest, but Adams definitely.
Really, I do see a place there for him. I don't know. What's your thoughts on the midfield three? Which okay, let's rather get to that later, because we are going to look at the teams for the Liverpool Arsenal game, because I've got a couple of questions on your midfield three.
Sure.
We'll get to that. Before we'll go to Chelsea Liverpool last out of these games. Have you got an opinion on Bournemouth Brighton? Once again, Brighton away from him.
Brighton just keep on doing it. What can you say? Matoma is another player who's could go to a big club. Not that Brighton's they're not a big club, but they're doing really well. But what a signing! Another brilliant gem that Brighton have found from nowhere. Guys like Caicedo, Estupinian, Matoma. Who else? There's a couple of others, I think.
Quite a few.
Cucurella, they got cheap and they sold off.
Yeah. Did you already say Caicedo? Yes, you did.
Caicedo, yeah, definitely. And that's another player now Arsenal are keen on.
They are, yeah. Just on Mitoma, I said during the World Cup I had on my podcast, so it's actually there for everyone to go hear. I don't know which episode it was, somewhere during the World Cup, but I actually said I would love Mitoma. That was before he's also. I know he played obviously before the World Cup for Brighton, but during the World Cup, I absolutely loved him as a player. And even during the World Cup, in my podcast, I said, watch this guy. And he's actually exploded ever since coming back from the World Cup for Brighton.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love him as a player. He's going to cost a load of money, long-term contract, just recently signed. So it's going to be up close to 100 million. There's 70 to 100 million. Just the way they sell, as you know, Cucurella, 60 million, etc., etc.
Wouldn't take 70 for Caicedo.
Yeah, that's also another thing. Yeah, Arsenal bid close to 80 million. I don't know if Arsenal's going to go back, because earlier when you asked me about the midfield dream signings and that, the Caicedo story, I don't know if Arsenal's going to go back, because he did sign an extension, so that would probably mean over 100 million would be his fee. And you can't buy loads of 100 million players if your record signing is 70 million, and it flopped. So we'll see how Arsenal goes in terms of buying big. Josh, West Ham, Newcastle United having excellent form, thrashing Man United and then thrashing West Ham.
We're going to talk about managers now, but I couldn't believe when I checked the next morning that David Moyes is still in a job after that. Same. I couldn't believe he was still in a job before that, but
I actually checked
it every week.
Yeah, I actually checked the hour afterwards because I thought I was going to see yet another manager gone. Gee whiz. They were atrocious defensively and in midfield.
Apparently, it was a tightish game according to Eddie Howe, but just individual errors, I guess, from West
Yeah,
Ham.
that's basically, yeah. So the way they defended, they obviously just trying to remember now. I've watched so much football. I'm trying to remember if they no Newcastle scored twice. So it was 2-0, and then a good scored, I think it was, to
Yeah, to
make it
make it
2-1.
2-1.
And then lots of counter-attacking goals. There was
And
so
then
many spaces.
crazy moment by Fabianski.
Fabianski. Oh goodness, don't get me started on him. Man United, Brentford. A
I watched
very
that game.
rainy game. Yeah, it was rainy, eh?
Was poor again. Brentford were really disappointing. I was hoping
Yeah,
Brentford could put
yeah.
them
Do
under
some.
pressure. You know how Brentford play, but I thought they
Yeah,
were
they were
passive.
passive. Yeah.
United didn't play particularly well,
No,
but
they
they
didn't.
managed to grind out the 1-0, which I guess is
Yeah.
what they need at this stage.
They needed at that stage. Yeah, yeah. Especially with their last couple of results coming up. Josh, just quickly, your thoughts on the Chelsea Liverpool game? I've got no thoughts. I browsed through the game, to be honest.
Poor game, poor
Yes.
quality. Chelsea were the better team. Chelsea scored twice, but slightly offside the first goal. Second goal was
The
a
handball,
handball.
handball. Yeah.
Correctly ruled out both goals, but Chelsea had the more clear-cut chances. But again, can't score goals. That's the story of Chelsea's season. Liverpool made 7 changes. I felt it was due to the fact that, okay, Van Dijk was ill, but besides that, he wanted to freshen the team up, obviously because he's got 3 games in a week, but also because I think he wanted to put a firecracker up the butts of those players who haven't been performing. He said
And
after
then
the
City game.
game on the weekend, the City game, yes, only 4 players played well, and he named them, or played decently, which was Henderson, Fabinho, Alisson, and Gakpo. Well, they did drop. You did rest Gakpo, but Fabinho played, Henderson played, obviously Alisson played. The rest got given the boot for the game.
What was Liverpool's midfield three for the Chelsea game?
Fabinho, Henderson, and Elliott. Elliott on the right-hand side for me, as I think I've mentioned before, is you can't play Trent and Elliott on the right-hand side. It's too weak.
Did Gomez play right back on Tuesday?
That's true though. Gomez played right back, and for me, remember when Trent was at his peak, even 3, 4, 5 seasons back.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the big Champions League games, Klopp would play Gomez at right back.
Yeah, I remember.
Often.
I remember
so, my opinion on Trent is either, obviously they've thought about moving into midfield. Clearly it's not going to work because he would have done it already.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has the ability the robustness to play in a Liverpool midfield. Maybe if you're an old 4-4-2 formation, he could do it. He could play in a back 3, but Klopp doesn't play a back 3.
He doesn't know.
A wing back position.
Yeah, wing backs, yeah.
Personally, I would look to, if they could get 50-60 million for him, I would look to replace him.
Trent?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to buy him.
There are clubs. I mean, he's still a world-class attacking fullback. In certain formations, the team that plays with the back 3.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just thinking that. Yeah,
Chelsea are not necessarily going to play with the back 3 with a new manager, obviously.
Yeah, and Reece James is better in my opinion. In any case.
Yeah, but he's never fit. Trent's fit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Fitness is key. Right, Josh. So obviously after that, this is the league table. Let me just make it bigger on
Look who's
my
on
side.
top. God's truth. Can you believe it?
Yeah. So so obviously we know the top 2 battle already. Newcastle United and Manchester United, the 2 Uniteds.
Look at the goal difference. 26 for Newcastle and 5 for
Man
United. Crazy.
Crazy
Even
stuff.
Tottenham have got a better goal difference than Man United.
And Brighton.
Even Liverpool. Thanks to the 9-0 and 7-0.
Yeah, thanks to that. Yeah. So, Josh, obviously, this changes from a weekly position. Do you still feel that the top four will stay the same? I think that was your last
100%.
indication. Yeah.
100%. I don't
Any
think,
chance for Brighton?
no, not in my opinion. I think Brighton could maybe overtake Tottenham,
Yeah,
possible.
I think they can
Tottenham,
finish.
difficult running.
They do. Yeah, they've got United, Liverpool. Is that it?
Newcastle.
Newcastle as well. So yeah, and they're playing Brighton on Saturday.
And they're playing Brighton at
Yeah, today in a
the
couple of
greatest
hours.
stadium
Time.
in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Chelsea are top of the league. Hey,
9 points clear.
9 points clear. So yeah, that's the look at that. Leeds United with a couple of they lost to Arsenal and then they beat. Who did they beat now the weekend? Nottingham the week. So
Nottingham
they are
Forest.
points. So we'll see. We'll come back to the log situation because obviously there's a match day happening today. The likes of Everton going to Old Trafford. So we'll try and predict those games. But the current bottom three, I don't think you think that will stay the same.
It's basically just toss 8 names in a hat and see what comes out at this stage.
Yeah.
Southampton are starting to fall off badly.
Yeah, they are.
Leicester, maybe with a new manager bounce. Leicester's squad, I can't believe they're going to get relegated with that squad. But then West Ham got relegated in 2000, I think, with a really good squad in the early 2000s. So it's crazy. West Ham squad as well. I mean, crazy. You would think, looking at that, I just have a feeling Leicester will somehow get out of it, and Southampton, Bournemouth, and Forest.
So
I keep changing my prediction on a weekly basis. It's impossible at this stage.
So Southampton's next 3 games, I don't know who's the middle one. Man City tonight and Arsenal Friday the 21st. So they play the top 2 in the next 3 games.
So they're going to get cast adrift, I think.
Very likely, yeah. Right, brother Josh, my favorite. Look at these beautiful pictures. These guys are handsome. The manager's situation. Brother Josh, look at that. Conte, he's excitable as ever. You've got Brandon Rodgers. You've got Super Fat Frank Lampard. You've got Pochettino, and you've got the guy there at the bottom that I've purposefully made small, Graham Potter, because he does well at smaller clubs. Your thoughts on Conte's next job?
I thought Chelsea was a small club.
No comment.
Conte's next job. I think Conte's next job will be in Italy.
Okay.
Possibly Juventus.
Juventus. There we go. Brandon, I don't know how to speak, and I've got big ears and teeth. Rodgers.
Well, the two managers either side of Frank, I think they're the 2 managers that are going to be going up head to head for the Tottenham job.
100% agreed.
I would go with Pochettino. Definitely. If he wants a job, definitely I would give it to Pochettino. So, I think that's his home.
Where does Rodgers go? West? If they sack
that's
Moyes?
not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout. Rodgers to West Ham, I could see that.
Okay, so we tip Moyes to go, Rodgers to West Ham. We're tipping Pochettino back to Spurs. Super Frank is currently at Chelsea, and we've had, before we started this, we had a bit of a short chat. You reckon that if he does okay, not necessarily winning the Champions League, that if he does win a couple of games in the league to get them into the Conference League, then then you reckon he'd stay. I think they've got an agreement that no matter what, that they will probably go and get the likes of Nagelsmann. I can't see Zidane managing in England. I could be wrong. And then I don't know where Potter's going to go. Potter might go Europe. I can't think of a team. Would you think he'd do a Southampton in the? No, he won't do Southampton in the Championship next season. Possibly.
The thing is with Chelsea is Todd Bowley's so clueless that he could do anything.
Yeah,
he could easily appoint Lampard on a permanent basis.
He could.
As I said to you earlier, for me, if he's available, I would go for Carlo Ancelotti. Don Carlo.
If I
was Chelsea.
If you were Chelsea, I know he's
and Potter. Brilliant. Well, everyone's talking about the Leicester job for Potter, but I don't know. It's, as you say, you would have to take what you can get at this stage. I don't
Yeah.
think Potter's a bad manager. It just wasn't the
No,
right fit.
not the right fit for. Yeah, he was brilliant at Ostersund's, beat Arsenal in the Europa League, and he was brilliant at Brighton. So I think those type of clubs is probably where he needs to stay. Where he's just given a little bit of time to do his thing. Whereas at Chelsea, the fit just wasn't right, in my opinion.
The other manager that I would look at if I was Spurs is Thomas Frank.
Yeah. No, that he is like probably on a short list, which includes Nagelsmann. Um, I actually, yeah, I don't know. Would Nagelsmann, if he maybe, for example, we go with your prediction, where going to Chelsea will be, and remember, Luis Enrique is also having conversation. Um, so he
Yeah.
might actually be going to Chelsea as well. So we'll see. Nagelsmann, Ancelotti, what's the other one? Enrique, and then if Nagelsmann doesn't come right at Tottenham, then he can either at Chelsea, then he's probably going to Germany again to one of the clubs, possibly even back to Red Bull Leipzig.
What about Real
And
Madrid?
possibly, yeah, because we're now saying that Ancelotti will go to Chelsea.
It seems
That's
like
now the
Ancelotti's leaving, regardless of Chelsea or Brazil.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
doesn't seem
that's
like
right.
he'll
Yeah,
be there next season.
you're right. Yeah. So let's move on to the next slide. Are we ready for the big game? Die groot wedstrijd.
Well, I had a dream last night or the night before,
I'm
and the
listening.
dream was 2-0 to Liverpool. So I don't know what
Sure.
that means.
So Arsenal
I
not to
can't tell you the
score.
goal scorers, but I do know Liverpool won the game 2-0. It was a slide rule ball through by someone that probably doesn't even play for Liverpool
Bellingham.
because they don't know how to play slide rule balls. Possibly Bellingham. Yeah. This is what happens in dreams.
Most definitely. There we go. You can't be any more cheerful than that, brother Josh. Look at that face.
That was after the City game.
Yeah. So, brother Josh, we're going to start off with your team lineup. You obviously sent this to me a couple of days ago.
I did.
Just go through your team there for me, please.
Well, Allison in goal, obviously. Robertson back at left back. Simicast for me, he's decent. He's a decent backup, but Robertson is still the classier left back. Virgil should be back. I was 50-50 on whether I should put Virgil in or Joel Matip, but I'll give Virgil one more chance. He thanks me. He'll thank me later. Ibu hasn't been at his best the last couple of games, but he's still Liverpool's future. So we got to give him a run while he's fit.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna have to go with Gomez. Gomez played decent against Chelsea. He can get forward. He is quick. He can defend. Trent needs a little bit of time out the team now. So Gomez at right back, especially against
Martinelli.
Martinelli. I assume he's going to play on that side, or Trossard.
Martinelli will play.
Then midfield.
Sure.
I said Milner on the left, but if Thiago is fit, I'll go with Thiago. Yeah. But I think Thiago might come off the bench.
Yeah, 50-50 at the moment.
Yeah, Fabinho, because Bajcetic is injured till the end of the season, he's the only option there at DM. And then Jordan Henderson on the right.
Captain Courageous.
Front three, it was a toss-up for me between Jota and Darwin. But I think we should use Darwin as an impact player in the second half against Arsenal.
And Jota has every time he's played against Arsenal.
He's got a good record. I think he's 99 against Arsenal. Gakpo has been playing decent. He's been one of Liverpool's better players lately. So him up front, and then obviously Salah on the right. Salah apparently wasn't pictured in training, but I'm sure
I saw it. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. Josh, your player to watch from the starting 11?
The King, James Milner.
James Milnerton. There we go. The man from the southern suburbs.
The fittest man in the world.
There we go. So that midfield three against Odegaard, Thomas Partey, and Xhaka, I'll take it. Your prediction, brother Josh?
For the game?
Yeah, for the game.
I just told you I had a dream, 2-0. So I can't
2-0
I can't go against my dreams.
Okay. So you're changing from draw to 2-0 to Liverpool.
Yes.
Righto. Okay. So my team in goal, Aaron Ramsdale. Unfortunately, despite Arsenal dominating games, he still had to make key saves in the last 7 games. So there is an openness to Arsenal, but that's just the way we play. We try to be a little bit daring in ball, or in possession, I should say, where we use our fullbacks as wing backs. So Thomas Partey tends to drop in. Xhaka tends to push up closer to Martinelli, and then you've got Zinchenko next to Thomas Partey, with Odegaard pushing up to Saka, and then you've got Ben White up and down. That's why he's very tired after around about 70 minutes. So Ben White at right back, Zinchenko left back / left centre mid, and then Gabriel and Holding. Mikel Arteta did allude to the fact that one of the injured players might train today, and that might be William Saliba. Saliba's got a back problem, back and hamstring problem. So there's a chance that Saliba might make
Such a
it.
young boy, and he's got so many problems.
Yeah. He's actually one of those players that never gets injured, but something happened in the Fulham game when he was pushed down by one of the Fulham forwards. It might have been.
Fulham guys like to push people, eh?
Yeah, so I think it was Mitrovic that barged him, and then he landed quite funny.
The Serbian tank, king of strikers.
Yeah, the Serbian tank. So so obviously when you have back problems, then the hamstrings tends to be affected, especially when you are trying to train
True.
or exercise. So in midfield, I think Arsenal should get the better of Liverpool just based on the form. Thomas Partey, Odegaard, and Xhaka. I don't know. Liverpool's going to
will take Xhaka to the cleaners.
We'll have to see about that. But the reason why Arsenal stop is the way that the midfield plays, and there's quite a bit of space. So you'll have Salah up against Zinchenko, and so that's going to be quite interesting because.
But Zinchenko's playing next to Saka on the right wing. Salah's down there.
Yeah. So we'll see. So obviously in the Emirates Stadium game, we had Tomiyasu at left back, and Tomiyasu looked quite well after Salah in that game, whereas Zinchenko tends to push more into midfield. So if Liverpool can get some diagonal balls across to Salah, and that could be where Arsenal's going to have a bit of trouble in this game. So diagonal
That's
balls,
another reason for me playing Virgil, because Virgil can play the diagonal.
Yes, he does, and he does it actually quite well. So there is where Liverpool can get at Arsenal, and then obviously Darwin Núñez or Jota in that little space where if Ben White is high up the pitch because he's trying to support Saka, when we do some overlap. So if Liverpool can get the ball, so this is Milner in this case, then he can get the ball quite quickly to Jota and Gakpo, and they can obviously push in that space that Ben White leaves behind, because remember, Holding is more get tight to your defender. He's not a defender that's got pace. So there's also a possibility. So Liverpool's front three could then create problems due to the fact that Arsenal play with that inverted fullbacks. So Arsenal needs to be smart and not have both of the fullbacks play the inverted role. And then also
that might be another reason to play Darwin, though, because of his pace.
His pace, yeah, and he's obviously quite physical. So there's a good chance that you could have Darwin Núñez playing on the left, eh? Yeah, left. So there we go. Or they could play Darwin Núñez. I don't know if they're going to drop Gakpo for Jota.
Darwin's been playing mostly on the left.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying they could possibly then play Jota where Gakpo is. But Gakpo, you can't drop him because he's been good, as you said. So you can't drop him just because Jota has a good scoring record. So you then bring Jota off the bench. And then obviously Arsenal's front three, extremely dangerous. Saka on the right, we don't really need to speak too much about it. Martinelli on the left. And then I've gone for Jesus and not the hat-trick scoring Trossard. Trossard obviously got a hat-trick for Brighton at Anfield.
I know all too well.
All too well about that. So I'm going to go for Trossard coming off the bench just because the way that these three interlink, they work extremely hard, whereas Trossard is more a moment's play. He does work hard, but not as hard as the front three. So it's more about being able to interchange and be all over the pitch. And obviously defensive work as well, especially if Liverpool gets a little bit of steam. So my player to watch is going to be Zinchenko, more from the sense that I feel that is where the biggest threat will come from Liverpool. if they can get diagonal balls in. So he's got to be. I'm not saying he's going to be the player to watch, as in he will be man of the match. I'm saying that he needs to, both from a getting the midfield going, seeing that he pushes up, and then also his positioning, because Liverpool will have enough ball to be able to cause problems. And then obviously Salah's got a great record against Arsenal as well. A lot of Liverpool
Quick,
players don't, because it's been hammerings at Anfield in the recent past.
it has.
So
Quick question for you, Ron. Would
yeah.
you not think about playing Kieran Tierney at left back for this game?
I would, yeah, but just the way that Arsenal like to control games away from home, they tend to play Zinchenko all the time. So I would play Tierney, but then we don't have that midfield control, which I think is going to be the key in this game. So I'm going 1-1 prediction wise. I'm not going 1-1 due to the form of the different teams. I'm going due to up here. I still think Arsenal still has a bit to go up here when it comes to our trips up north. So even though Arsenal's been brilliant this season, lost at Old Trafford, lost at the Etihad, lost at Goodson Park when we go up north to those clubs over there. And last season lost to Newcastle. So Arsenal haven't even drawn up north.
But surely Arteta's been playing You Never Walk Alone at the training ground this week, so that should be fine for the mentality. The mentality is all good.
I think he needs to start playing other songs. But yeah, that's the only reason. You can go and according to form and all that, and Arsenal's got the best away form. It's just the Anfield factor still has got that little bit of doubt in my mind, so that's why I'm going for a draw. Obviously, Liverpool can win. They've been brilliant. They've beaten Man City and they've beaten Man United. Was the Man City game more comfortable than the score says? The 1-0, I think it was, the Anfield game.
It wasn't comfortable, but it was a very good performance.
Yeah. So 1-0 fair, not 2-0, for example.
A fair result, I would say, yeah.
Okay. So obviously their form has been I don't know if you can call it brilliant, because there was a lot of games where they were touch and go in terms of 45 minutes good, 45 minutes not so good. I'm talking about at Anfield now, Liverpool.
Anfield's the form has been decent, not as good as previous seasons, but much, much better than the away form.
Obviously, yeah. So it's obviously only Leeds United that won there, and then Brighton and Palace. Yeah. Has there been any other draws other than Brighton and Palace?
I think there has. Did Brentford not draw there?
Yeah, I can't remember.
There's definitely been a couple of other draws. I can't remember offhand. As I said to you last week, I'm trying to block this season out. But I think Liverpool have got 28 or 29 points at Anfield this season in probably 13 games, 14 games.
Yeah. Righto. I think it's going to be a very, very exciting. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. In all honesty, I think.
Who is the referee? Right?
Paul Tierney. Arsenal have not won a game.
Oh my word!
I wouldn't say, oh my word, if I was you. Arsenal have yet to win a game with him. He was the referee at Old Trafford for the Man United Arsenal game. He was atrocious. And then he was also the referee at the Etihad. So Arsenal have lost their last 5 games with Paul Tierney in charge. So Liverpool have a better record with him. I've double-checked all these things.
Who's your least favorite referee in the league at the moment?
All of them.
Mine is Chris Kavanagh.
Yeah.
He's the obvious Man City fan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's probably going to have to be Paul Tierney if you're asking me in terms of referees. I just don't think he's up to the standard, and I have watched him in other games as well. So it's not just the Arsenal situation. I think it's got to do with just his general standard of refereeing, and he's obviously getting quite a lot of games still. So clearly, they think he's doing a good job.
Clearly, the Andre Iniesta of referees.
So they say. Right, Josh, before we end off with the show, I just want to promote all my upcoming shows. So on a Friday afternoon, I broadcast the Gunning Truth podcast. So that's audio only on Spotify and iTunes. I've already obviously recorded yesterday's show where I preview the Liverpool game. And then tomorrow I'll be broadcasting this show that we're doing today, the Off Your Game podcast, episode 4. I'll be putting that over on the YouTube platform. And then on Monday afternoon, I'll have a reaction video to the Liverpool game, win, lose, or draw. And in Josh's case, it's going to be a lose and a draw, both of them. In my case, it's a draw as well. So I'll be reacting only to that game because I know the under 21s played yesterday. They lost to Fulham. So another loss for the under 21 Arsenal team. But I won't be reacting to that. And then on Wednesday afternoon, the Tuesday show, which I record on a Tuesday evening, hold thumbs that I will have a guest this week for episode 3 of the Gunning Truth show, which
If
I will then.
Arsenal lose, I will be your guest.
Yeah. If Arsenal lose, you might not see me for a couple of weeks. You know them way there.
Talking of my day, if Arsenal in the league, apparently Expressions is leaving the country.
Yeah,
He's going to the
apparently Two things he said. Number one, he's not watching Tottenham anymore. He would rather go with a bag full of weed to Dubai. And you know their rules are
I heard
jail.
that.
And then obviously he's going to move to either Zanzibar or the North Pole if Arsenal win the league.
I could see him in the North Pole.
Yeah. Josh, just quickly before I greet you, Burnley has
hello girls in the North Pole.
Yeah, listen quick. Burnley has been promoted to the Premier League officially yesterday. Your thoughts on Vincent Company and Burnley being back in the Premier League?
Apparently, he's also on the shortlist for the Spurs job.
Yeah, I would stay at Burnley if I was him. Get.
Are they going to finish high in the league next season than Tottenham?
You never know. I have tipped Tottenham to go and finish just one short of dead last for next season. So. Brother Josh, upcoming week. So obviously work for you, and then hopefully we get to record next week again. Next Saturday morning again. The episode 5. You good with that?
Episode 5, yes. After we've had 1,000 views on this episode and likes, still no comment. I asked last week, please comment, even if it's toxic. I told you, no comment still. I'm gonna have to comment, Ron.
Yeah, I think we still need to do a couple of these shows before people start to, catch the drift. But I think we will somewhere along the line. This thing will explode. We just need to keep the faith and keep recording.
Groot ontploffing.
Groot ontploffing van broer Josia. Brother Josh, the outro is coming. Thanks so much.
Ciao. See you. Ciao. Good luck.
Cheers. Same to you.